One of the challenges, right, that the pandemic brought is added expenses. So with added expenses, comes price increasing, right? Like the businesses have gotten an increase in costs all across the board, and probably at minimum 8% to 10%. But many of them have not increased their prices. So they're looking at third-party services that they could beat down, but guess what? Our prices have increased as well. We're a business just like you, right? Just because your price has increased doesn't mean that our prices haven't increased. So how do we solve for that, right? We solve for that by passing it on to the consumer, right? So one of the solutions that it existed prior to the pandemic, shortly before the pandemic, but it intensified after the pandemic, and especially for us, is something called cash discounting or merchant surcharging. So what happens in these scenarios is when a customer comes in, let's just say they spend a couple $100 or $100. Let's be for ease of calculation here. Let's just do $100. If you're a cash surcharge customer, right, and you go to purchase that $100 as a client of that business, right, I'm going to be charged like let's say a fee, right, and let's just call it, for round numbers, 3%, right? So now I'm not paying $100 for that service. I'm paying $103. As a customer of the business, it really shouldn't matter to me because I understand, like, things have increased in price. I could physically see it, right? And I've been shopping at this business for years and their prices haven't increased, right? Like, I should be considerate of what this business is going through. I'll pay you an extra $3. I shop here once a month. It's costing me $3 more. Who cares, right? That's one way. So what we do in that strategy is we pass all the fees onto the customer in a government compliant way, and we list it out on the receipt as a surcharge for using credit card. So it's essentially, we take the fee that the business would have been charged. In combination of all their customers, it adds up for the business. But on a customer level, it's not a big deal, right? And we pass those fees on to the customer. That's one way that we've been able to battle kind of the increase in pricing. And the merchants, businesses are not hounding us to further reduce our fees because we got to make a living as well. The other way that we've been able to do this is through cash discounting, right? So as we know, cash is still king, right? Businesses love to have cash, and now that we're getting through the pandemic, everybody has been vaccinated, people are welcoming cash again. So another way to do it is to do something that is called a cash discount. So with a cash discount, a merchant passes the fee on to their customer through a price increase strategy, right? So let's say an item was $100. Now the item is $103, but at the time that their customers come to pay, they're offered a discount to pay in cash because cash doesn't have those added service fees, right? So if the customer complains, hey, you used to charge $100 for this, now you're charging $103. Well, guess what? We have a cash discount. So if you want to pay in cash, it'll still be $100. If you want to pay with card, sorry, but it's now $103. So gas stations have been doing it for a while. Governments have definitely been doing it forever, right? Ever since the industry started, the credit card industry started, they've been charging a surcharge for this. So prior, in previous years, government was the only type of business, because they're a business, it was the only type of business that can charge for these fees, like they can charge you as a consumer for these fees. Just as of recent, laws have been passed to make it kind of fair and equitable for businesses to do the same.